It's Tuesday, March 27th, and you are experiencing the Crave podcast. I'm Donald Bell.
I'm Eric Franklin.
And I'm Buddy Cha.
Buddy Cha's a little stuffed up today.
That'll be great. You really gonna talk about that the whole time?
You want me to?
Yeah, you should. No.
Okay.
This is the episode where we actually just completely keep it real.
Yeah.
Because this is the final chapter.
Is it?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
so.
When you say final chapter, what do you mean?
I mean, this is the end of the Crave podcast. This is it.
All right.
There's
Everyone.
been
Hey, show some respect.
A little moment of silence here.
All right. No.
No,
I mean,
That's all you get.
The trumpet can play during the moment of silence. All right, but okay, there you go.
Wait, the box I did that.
Looks like he's saying live long and prosper.
Yeah, he kind of is. Right. We brought all the toys. We brought all the guys.
Yep.
My spirit animal.
All your friends.
My spirit animal's Admiral Sackbar over here. We've got
Okay. Is this camera not on? Maybe not.
You
got
want me?
my keep on.
Your camera's on.
Oh, I don't want him to take my space.
Oh, my keep on lost his crown.
Oh, he's lost his crown.
And then what's your
Your
spirit animal
evil
over there?
spirit.
My spirit animal is pure evil. He's a demon of the ancient world, as I was telling Bonnie earlier.
Right.
He's a Balrog.
Whoa,
Balrog.
it's pretty great. So I'm glad everyone could make it to this last episode.
Yeah, we're not kidding.
No,
Just-
we
No,
really are.
it is.
There,
This is the
if you
last
haven't heard the
episode.
news, many of the CNET podcasts are hanging it up. I think a lot of them are going off next week.
Yeah.
But you know what? Let's give you time to mourn them separately than us. We're giving you a
Buffer.
pre-morning.
Yeah.
Morning.
Morning.
Plus, it gives us more time to start doing the next thing.
Yeah.
And then we can surprise you with extra awesomeness earlier than the other
Than the
people.
other
we can get the jump on them. That's
Yeah.
basically why we're doing this.
And let's be
Yeah.
honest, I've been doing this podcast for 2 years now, pretty much just to entertain myself.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
If you guys were entertained as a result, then
Then bonus.
cool.
yeah, that was the
It's
entire
all about Donald.
that was the entire
Yeah.
hypothesis, right? It's like, well, if I can just talk about stuff that I like and find entertaining, then other people will feel that excitement possibly through my excitement about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Even if it has no bearing in their life or any kind of practical use or purpose.
right.
And it's brought us this far.
It has. This is pretty far.
I actually feel kind of great that we didn't get canceled specifically.
Yeah.
That's
We got
true.
canceled in this
in a collective.
big-
like,
Yeah.
Like maybe they were just being nice to us, and they
we
took out a
took
bunch of
everyone down.
podcasts.
That's what I was thinking. Like, oh man, they just really didn't want to bring it.
Yeah, I really don't want to hurt Donald's feelings.
You know,
It's a
and
great
this thing
podcast.
means the world to
How
him.
ridiculous and
It's
purposeless.
just like
it
tied
is.
into his personality and his self-esteem really closely.
It's like they just kind of make it up every week. It's not even planned.
It's not even a good show.
Who put this on in the first place?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not
So-
funny, right?
No.
Yeah, thanks for doing that because it helps preserve my ego.
Yeah.
Sense of self-esteem.
Yeah.
But there will still be the 404, so don't worry. There's still plenty of good podcasts around. Reporters Roundtable is still going to be around.
Yeah, it's gonna be, I think, retooled or something like that.
Right.
A little bit different, maybe, than what it is now, is what I heard.
Well, I
but-
think the thing to be excited about is that
What's the big takeaway?
The big the CNET TV News.com, all this sixth floor CNET awesomeness that we have here is all being cranked up to 11.
That's right.
Yeah.
And
we're
we're
reinventing
putting
ourselves.
ourselves into more useful and amazing purposes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a silver lining here, a pretty thick silver lining, I would say, and that you just mentioned it.
No, I think
Yeah.
the thick silver lining is what we'll call this particular episode.
Big silver.
No, actually, I'm calling this episode 100 because we almost made it to 100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that feels more worthy of a final episode.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Crave 82, episode 100.
Yeah.
Episode 100.
I like it.
All right.
It's clever.
But we did nothing special. This is just another episode of Crave.
Yes.
Assembled
not
as
like we
we
got-
We brought
regular
in
would
our
have.
friends.
Yeah,
That's about
exactly.
it.
As such, I will introduce the first topic of conversation here, which I'm actually excited about. This is
Hey kids, ever wanted to connect your Legos?
exactly. What is it? This is the free universal construction kit. It is a universal adapter that adapts all the disparate kinds of kid block toys and construction toys together so they can all coexist. And you don't even buy it. You just have it 3D printed on like a MakerBot machine. That therein lies the free part of the free universal construction kit.
Right. You got to buy the 3D
But you
printer.
need the printer though, right?
Yeah, but that
Can
that
you
pays
rent
for
those?
itself.
Can you like go to a place that has a 3D printer and like make something? If
Yeah,
you,
well,
like
there's
that place
Tech
that.
There's places like Tech Shop where you can go.
Okay,
and
yeah.
do-
Yeah. Okay, cool.
So you can make that happen. But this is great. I mean, this is always like as a father of a 3.5-year-old, this is one of the things that you come face to face with is that you have a floor full of toys that eventually they're all going to get mixed together.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, of course.
So instead of fighting it and trying to contain all the Legos and Lincoln Logs and other stuff into their separate bins when you clean it up, why not just have them all just
combine
get
them.
along?
Yeah.
Coexist.
It's
Yeah.
one shared universe.
Big,
That's right.
weird,
Is what's going
kinky orgy of toy bits.
Yeah.
Just all linking
For
up.
your kids.
I mean, for your kids.
Right.
Let's keep it clean. But I mean, there's probably a weird, twisted, kind of perverted thrill of connecting a Zoob into a Lego, right? Because it shouldn't be, but it is. Now with this,
I don't want to touch this one.
I
No?
know, it's like that hand crank thing again.
Yeah, I know. Man, I know it's the last show and all,
I
but
know,
still,
but Donald, jeez.
it's just going all out.
hey,
You'll
you
see
know,
the real Donald.
grown-ups like
Yeah.
playing with Legos and Lincoln Logs and
Oh,
Kinects
yeah.
too.
Yeah, too easy.
Adults do.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, sure. This combines all that stuff, but as a kid, I never had a problem mixing my universes, my toy universes. Never had a problem with, Cobra attacking Castle Grayskull, or the Transformers, defending against, Snake Mountain or something like that. I never had a problem doing
I
that stuff.
agree, but this is a little different. You can
You can
Can't
literally
connect
combine them.
right.
Yeah. Right.
So
And they make stuff like that
thing.
which is, I don't even know what that is.
It could be anything.
it's whatever you want it to be.
There you go.
Yeah.
I have no imagination. I'm old. So this is not for me. That's what I'm saying.
I'm excited for it.
All right.
All right. I'm also excited for this. This is the fish clip. Believe it. It's not for clipping fish.
Believe that.
No.
It's not like a.
around the kitchen tightly and securely.
Yeah.
Sold in a Try Me
It's a way to. It's like a bag clip, but instead of it being like it going across a seam of the bag, it just cinches it off.
You can like bunch it together.
Yeah, like a caveman. You just just grab your sack of chips and then you just fish clip it.
But it just, it clips it off. What do you, wait,
Like that.
Like that.
See?
Oh. Yeah, it holds it.
Yeah.
And it's just like cute little fish
Yeah.
little things. But it's apparently really tight.
Yeah, and it's really good for like freezer stuff. Like if you have a bag of, I don't know, frozen chicken nuggets or something.
Yeah.
It like
tons of
cinches
those.
it so you don't have all that freezer burn.
Oh, yeah. It makes it airtight.
Yes.
Okay.
Because I do this all the time. Whereas I will open up like a bag of frozen vegetables or something like that, and instead of even finding something to clip it, I just kind of twist it and just
Yeah.
Right.
It's like
hope and
Like-
pray that it's.
stuff it in the back.
Not gonna-
Yeah.
Hopefully.
The harder I cram it into the back of the freezer,
Yeah,
the more likely it'll stay fresh.
Sure.
Right?
Right.
Sure.
That's how it works.
Hopefully the actual package will freeze in that position.
Right.
And you won't have
My
to worry
fist
about.
imprinted into it. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, this is cute.
Yeah. Not high tech, obviously, but life changing
Still,
potentially.
Genius nonetheless.
Yeah.
And but they're kind of pricey. They're like $5 a pop, I think.
But I think you get 3. Jeff
Okay.
Sparkman has them at his desk, and they came in a package of.
All I know is that if Jeff
he does.
Sparkman is excited about this,
Well,
there's reason
yes,
to be excited about
Exactly.
Yeah. If he's excited about anything, you should get behind it.
it. Not touching that.
Yeah.
Also exciting. This goes into the make it yourself. I should have put this with the Legos
Yeah.
adapter because this is a DIY project. But nonetheless, let's talk about it. Doesn't even have a name. It's like a drawbot. This is like last week we were talking about what was it? The Dradio? Not. I think we were talking about that last week.
We did.
The little
The
Dradio. What was it? Isn't that what it's called? It was like a drawbot that like you just like hooked it up and it would draw like cute little things in response to your Twitter feed or I don't know. We talked about all this stuff.
Were you on a different podcast?
No,
Were you cheating on us?
maybe it wasn't the
That
draw
sounds
deal.
familiar.
It was the piccolo or something like that.
Yeah, the piccolo.
Oh.
You're right.
Yeah.
There was a couple shows ago.
Yeah.
So we're gonna find it. But
So the
continue.
piccolo, the musical instrument piccolo?
No, it's a different
No.
thing.
Oh.
Anyways,
Were you on a
draw.
different-
Here it is. Here it is. This is the piccolo.
Bail me out.
Oh,
Thank
okay.
you.
Oh, yeah, there you go. I remember that little guy.
The point I'm trying to make here is that drawing robots, automatic drawing machines are a thing. They're like a thing now.
Yeah.
And here's one that you can make with 2 old turntables you might not be using anymore. You set them up in opposite directions. You connect some kind of articulated pieces of wood with them and a Sharpie. And you get this, which is kind of freaky to watch.
Yeah, just the kind of relaxed way that
A little
draws.
hypnotic.
Yeah.
So you can't program it to draw specific things, right? It just draws random.
I think it depends on what records you put on. You know, like if
The size of the record.
I mean, if it's like knocking the boots or something.
right,
Yeah.
Like
you could put like Herb Alpert on one and then H-Town on the other.
Yeah.
And I'm
what would
sure
you get? What would the combination of
it
that?
would
I know. What would-
it'd be like a trumpet, a burrito, and a boot. You're like, what?
Or like a butt or something like that. A trumpet, like a butt with a trumpet coming out of it.
And a Tijuana taxi cab. Yeah, so this is an Ohio University student put this together, and amazing that it has not occurred until now,
Yeah.
because it's not using any technology that you couldn't have gotten like 30, 40 years ago.
Right.
Yeah, so good on you.
It just goes on like that, huh?
Yep.
Yep. Eric's not
Whatever.
impressed.
You're in the art printing business at that point. You just get a little stand out at the local farmers market and you
Yeah.
sell your drawbot drawings.
Yeah, you could probably convince some San Francisco liberals that they should be buying this from you.
You just draw it onto like hemp or something like that, right? Or
Yeah.
yeah. Use some soy-based ink, some sheets of hemp.
Yes.
Yep.
Exactly. You have it dialed in. I like it.
But should you not want to do that, you really want to fashion your hemp drawings without the aid of technology,
I like
you could be Bonnie Cha.
It could be.
And
Nice
the
segue.
24-hour withdrawal of technology that you subjected yourself to.
I did.
For the National Day of Unplugging.
That's right. I took the pledge and I stuck to it.
All right, so how and why?
Why? It was more of, can I actually do this? And kind of a challenge. And
personal challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I made it. It started at sunset on Friday. And the first couple of hours were rough. Because I should have put my phone away, but it was within eyesight. And
Yeah.
I was like,
And did you instinctively grab it at any point?
You
No,
should have-
but I was
you should have
like-
taken an axe to your phone or something like
I
that.
should've
It's
just
the
thrown it
National
out
Day
the
of
window.
Unplugging.
Like, I'm unplugging.
Yeah.
No, but I was trying to like reason with myself. I'm like, well, what if I just turn it on and not, reply to text messages and
But
just
you can
like,
still see them?
But I can just see them pop up every once in a while. But then I was like, no, that's cheating. So
Yeah.
I kept it off. And I was talking with you the next day because you were going to take a picture for the story, and I was
And
like,
actually talking with him, not
yeah,
texting
I
him.
was
Right.
like, but I wanted to bail. I was like, it was raining that day, and I
Wait,
was
did
like,
you use a phone?
No.
no, we set it up Friday before the whole.
She did ring our doorbell,
Is
which
that-
technically is technology.
Whatever.
Yeah,
If you wanna get
I'll
technical.
let you have that. That's
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, that morning I was like, oh, I figured out a photo I can do at home. I don't need Eric to take a photo. But there's no way I could get in touch with you to be like,
I
I'm
know.
not coming
I'm
over.
not coming. I would have been expecting you.
Yeah.
Is she dead? What's happening to Bonnie?
I was like,
No. You can send a carrier pigeon or
yeah.
something.
So I had to come over, but I mean, it was great. It was funny, and we had a good talk. And stuff
Yeah.
like that.
We actually talked.
We did.
We didn't just sit down and text each other.
Like
is
we
what we
usually
usually
do.
do.
I know. So we actually talked and had conversations, but it was good. And the hardest part was riding the bus without my music.
Ugh.
Oh man,
There was.
What was that experience
Just the
like?
sounds of despair
I know.
all around you.
Yeah, on San Francisco buses, for sure.
Yeah. A couple buses were fine, but there was one when I was going to dinner that night. there's one girl telling her college friends like, just drink water in between drinks and you'll be okay. And I was like, oh my god.
You won't wake up in
yeah,
some
you-
stranger's home again.
Like,
Just drink water.
and then there was another guy just shouting into his phone. He wasn't even arguing. He was just like, one of those like,
having a
you know, the people who like bring their phone down in their mouth and then bring it back to their ear.
like he's on a walkie-talkie or
Don't need to do
something.
that. Yeah, and he was shouting, and I was like, ugh.
Was he saying over after everything he said?
10-4 again, buddy. No. And then there was another guy who was just like watching a movie without the headphones on. I'm like, oh my god.
I always wonder if I'm that guy. Like sometimes I'll. Do you ever do this where you double check to make sure your headphone cable is like really connected in there, or
I
you
do
take your
at work.
headphones off and you're like, I'm just making sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do
Can't
that.
hear
Yeah,
the music
Yeah.
I'm listening to, or the.
like sometimes like party rock anthem will come on and like make sure no one else can hear that I'm listening
That's
to.
what I do with like totally guilty pleasure. I'm like, just checking.
Because I think it's actually me giving those people more credit than they're worth, because like, maybe accidentally they're watching the movie with the speakers
Right.
on. You know?
Yeah,
Maybe they really
exactly.
intended it to be
Yeah.
on their headphones or something, and
Sure.
somehow they fell off their head and came unplugged.
They haven't noticed this yet.
Excuse me, sir.
So, did you find yourself being like more aware of other people using technology because of it? You're like, oh,
Envy.
Not really. Like
No?
towards the end of Saturday, I was like, I wasn't even thinking about it.
were you then looking down on people for their addiction
For
to technology?
judging them, I was like,
Yeah.
No.
You weren't feeling a little snooty.
Mostly because I was trying to look out the window and just try to like channel
Oh,
my
yeah.
happy place. I'm like, I'm not
like,
hearing these people.
1 hour to go. I can make it.
No, but towards the end, I wasn't craving it as much, or compared to the beginning where I'm like, I need to turn on my
Yeah.
phone.
So your withdrawal period lasted like a few hours.
Yeah.
It didn't last that
Yeah.
long. Yeah.
Which was surprising.
I want to see some like time lapse version of this day, where like it starts off with Bonnie just like and then it ends with her in like Victorian garb and writing with like a feather and like an inkwell, getting totally used to not having technology around. Just licking like the envelope and like some old papyrus handcrafted envelope on some hand pressed paper.
Writing letters, yes.
Right.
Next year.
Next year.
Make sure
Yeah.
you try that.
Well, I hope that is a sign of the kind of life affirming experience that Crave podcast listeners can have.
Oh, yeah.
And the withdrawals that they'll certainly be having from
When
this
we are
podcast.
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
Now you say it. Now they know how useful we could be.
And actually, then the next piece I have here may actually be appropriate for them. This is a
Ah, yes.
manual typewriter. I had this in the I do not crave category, but now that I'm thinking about it, in this unplugged world, maybe I would crave this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's a little bit of
What's
an
special about this?
odd thing. It's being made and sold by Hammacher Schlemmer, purveyor of wacky technology
And
goodness
wacky names.
and wacky names. It's a actual like fully functional standard typewriter. Nothing, no USB ports, no hooks.
Yeah.
No, yeah,
It's just if
a
you
type.
It
wanted
is what
to
it
buy
is.
an old school typewriter again, you can for $200.
What?
$200.
Yeah. and
Why is it
comes with-
$200?
Because they can.
And people actually pay for this?
Well, as much as you can convince me anyone buys anything from the Hammacher Schlemmer catalog, yeah, I guess so. I feel like it's a misguided thing to like capitalize on like the retro turntable phenomenon, you know, where like hip kids are buying up turntables to listen to vinyl. Maybe those same hipsters are going to want to go out and buy themselves an old-timey typewriter.
Well, they would if they get it at the Goodwill for like $8.
Right.
You
Not
know?
for $200.
Not for a brand new one for $200. That kind of defeats the purpose, doesn't it? Like I feel like most real hipsters, Donald.
Yeah.
Most real hipsters aren't gonna get behind something like this.
Right. They want like that vintage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is kind of you're heading
Bit
into
of flea
poser
market.
territory.
Well, especially
with this kind
it's
of
like
stuff.
it's all encased in plastic. I mean, a lot of typewriters were, but it's not even stretching for like an old antique typewriter
Right.
type thing.
Yeah.
It looks like it was just thrown off of some IBM,
yeah,
Right.
desk.
looks like a Lenovo typewriter. If that, if that was a thing.
But, you know, if you've got no other option, and we really do have a techpocalypse that will force us to go back into the typewriter era,
True.
this is what
I
you've
guess
got.
that's
You're
what
going to
you
be
get.
text messaging on this thing.
Wasn't so bad.
Yeah?
Be faster than text messaging with my phone, probably.
All right. For our last show, thankfully, we have a viewer feedback saying that we have, this is from Blessed?
Said.
Blessed.
Blez?
Blessed.
We apparently, I have to clear my throat for this one. You guys have the best podcast on CNET. Bonnie just added the little bit of extra to balance off the perv aspect that I love. Keep up the great work.
We will.
We won't.
Oh.
But thank you for the note.
It was a lovely note.
And it's good to be able to end this podcast, or not this podcast, because we still have my favorite segment coming up here.
Right.
But to have this.
Yeah, this is good. On the
actual
last show.
feedback.
Yeah.
How this kind
Instead of me
It's a nice
begging
segment.
for it
Yeah.
and then, you know, chastising every listener for not writing in. We had one.
Yeah. Unsolicited.
Yep.
Maybe.
All right. But now, for the last time, my favorite segment on Crave.
Make it obvious this time that you're using your mind.
Meanwhile, at the Hall of Doom.
Oh.
Great.
It's the last time that'll ever happen. Admiral Sackbar is saddened.
So, look. Oh,
Woe is me.
wipe away a tear.
Oh, Sackbar. Admiral Sackbar from a very, very popular series of movies, Star Wars, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's his pedigree. And speaking of popular series of movies,
I was trying to make a sack pun, and I
yeah,
failed at it. I was
Yeah.
gonna say Sack Wars. That sounded disgusting.
Sack
It didn't
Wars.
even hit. I was saying like Empire Strikes Sack.
yeah,
maybe.
there you go.
But he really wasn't in the Empire Strikes Back. So,
He was not. He was only in Return of the Jedi.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, speaking of movies, I
So
guess I don't know.
I just-
Cut that part out. The Hunger Games came out last week, and took in $152.5 million in the U.S. in the very first weekend. That put it at number 3 for the top opening weekends of all time
Wow.
in the U.S. It's right behind The Dark Knight and last year's Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2.
Part 2.
Yeah, because they split that into 2 movies.
Too shabby.
Yeah, pretty impressive. I saw the movie on Friday. I liked it a lot. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really well made, well acted, well written. It was surprisingly brutal with the violence, because if you don't know what the premise is, it's basically a bunch of kids killing each other until one's left. Like 12 to 18-year-olds killing each other. It's pretty awesome concept and handled really well.
Yeah.
But I didn't expect it to be this popular. Is
Really?
so I guess my question then is, you know, have the teens taken over? Because this is kind of like the Twilight. You know, if you look at Twilight, the popularity of those movies, I feel like, you know, if you make a book kind of
Geared
targeted
towards young
as
adults.
young adults,
Yeah.
that's all you have to do. You're printing money these days, I feel like. You know, Harry Potter, Twilight, have the tweens and the teens taken over? That's my question.
Yes. No.
Maybe. What do you want to hear?
What answer do you want?
I mean, I think that it was always there. So the tough part is how to capitalize on the teen economy without completely debasing the art of movie making
Yeah.
with things like Twilight,
Sure.
you know?
And I've had
Or
to sit through those movies.
Scream 6 or whatever.
Well, then
you know?
that's funny that you say Scream 6, because the last Scream came out and was a complete dud at the box office.
Yeah, because it was it's now at the point it is now, it's like it's a throwback to your parents having seen it.
Right.
You know?
It's not something new and something you take ownership of.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like, oh, my mom was into that Scream movies. That's not that cool. What were you going to say about it?
I was gonna say, what made you see it because you didn't read the books.
I didn't
right?
read the books. I what made me see it was the
As soon as
early.
he knew Dark Knight was threatened, he's like, go out and see what this is about.
What is this?
You got to know your enemy, man.
Yeah.
No, I guess early reviews.
Yeah.
And my wife, she read the books and she told me what
Okay.
the premise was, and I was like, okay, it's battle royale.
Mhm.
It's the American version of battle royale. Have you
Uh-huh.
guys ever seen
yeah.
the Japanese movie Battle Royale, which is based on a Japanese book? I think it's a Japanese book. This is basically that. This is the battle royale with
White people.
white people. Well, there's a pretty good mix in there. Which another thing that was
Did not look that way from the
the trailer.
teaser, yeah.
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
In that district is pretty because they're like they're all separate into different districts, like 12 different districts, and that's
Yeah.
pretty.
It
pretty
just looked like a
white
bunch of white
district.
girls who are just going to be doing this.
Yeah.
Just fall over.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been a different type of movie. But no, I mean, there's a pretty good mix of color in the movie, which I appreciated. But yeah, it was the early reviews and then just the concept of it. It's like, okay, battle royale, sure.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, they're probably not going to go as far as battle royale, and they don't really go as far as battle royale, but they do get pretty brutal with the killings, which I really enjoy. And the action was shot well, and it was very suspenseful. And I like the kind of effects they use in there. They use the effects sparingly, but they were very like story based effects, weren't just gratuitous effects.
I want to just go see Battle Royale now, though.
I know. Have you seen it, Bonnie?
No.
It's basically the same thing. Bunch
Yeah.
of like
I
high
remember-
school kids.
Yeah,
were-
it took me a while to hunt down, too. But now I saw it like the other day when I was just going to rent a movie. It's like on Blu-ray now, too.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Nice. I might have to pick that up
Yeah.
just to.
We can talk about it next. No,
Oh, we
can't. I was into teenagers killing teenagers before it was cool.
I think though
Right.
most teenagers have that kind of like apocalyptic fantasy where they're like, you know what? What if things happen at my high school and we just have to? It's every kid for themselves.
Yeah.
Themselves.
You know? And me and my trench coat mafia of like
Right.
friends will have to like nunchuck our way out of the school.
Right. Yeah. Whoever gets out first lives
Yeah.
or something like that. And yeah.
So
Oh.
this is, and I think therein lies the
Come to
appeal,
life,
the teenage appeal. It's like I want to go see this played out.
Yeah, I want to see how to. I want to see what are the best practices as far as taking
Training.
my fairly my other students out.
Yeah.
Anyway, I
On
was
that
just doing
happy
my
note,
thing. Yeah, there you go.
thank you everyone for tuning in these many years to the Crave podcast. Do not mourn for us though.
We're already dead.
That was the that's how we were gonna do the hook at the end.
Yeah.
Surprise! Everyone's already dead.
This is pre-recorded.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we're all going to be doing some really fun stuff, and so if you are a CNET viewer, lover of CNET and the Crave blog, you're going to see more of us and all of our awesomeness. So
Yeah.
stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Be
To be
excited.
continued.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But until next time, see ya.
Bye.
Bye.